All right, we're going to jump straight into this one. Let's get right to it. Okay, so I have three not related stocks today to discuss with you, but I think you're going to like them. The first one we're going to start with is Cassava Sciences, or SAVA as the ticker. This one is interesting. As you can see over here on the left, in about 2024, it had a pretty flat run overall, up and down $5. Nothing big until it failed its trial of an Alzheimer's medication. Absolutely failed, just miserably. In fact, I think they've got lawsuits against them right now for it, or they had at least. And that's what dropped it from 30s all the way down into the $2 range. So you could say, oh, well, why do I want to even buy into this if they possibly have lawsuits running, all this stuff? Well, if you look a little farther back, you can see how they were already down here before, and it did their things right. They got some stuff right. They got trials going, got medications going, and it ran all the way from $2 to $140 a share. Sure, like most pharmaceuticals, things always go up and down because you have different trials and purchases, copies of other medications and whatnot. So obviously, things didn't hold, and it trickled all the way down into the $20 range for quite a while until this last crash back to its old baseline of between $1 and $2. So there's other things to note about this company. Is if we zoom out a little bit, let's go to the 1 hour mark. You can see it's been rising slowly over this last 3 months. Here's some additional points I'm going to add from my notes. Like I'm using notes these days instead of memory because I can get right to the point faster. So here we are. They have a lot of upside. Obviously, I just showed you that. As long as we can meet this next coming trial. So right now they have an epilepsy, brain. It's not a tumor medication, but it's to deal with the brain and seizures and whatnot. So they've shifted their whole focus away from the Alzheimer's medication trial. Clearly that has failed and is done, over to this one, which apparently shows some promise. And why? Because since Q4, there's been over 370,000 more shares purchased by hedge funds into Sava, and it was down in this point. So if you look at Robinhood or whoever, and you see a nice increase in the hedge fund bar, well, that's why. FFAI. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing about the Sava is they have increasing earnings. Last several earnings have been increasing over time, and their EPS is increasing as well. So that one definitely keep an eye on for sure. My screen just went dim. My battery's low, so it's not happy that I'm using. I should have plugged it in, but FFAI. This one is another weird one. We're moving away from pharmaceuticals and into EVs. This one is interesting because we are a low point. This actually has been low for quite a while. As you can see here, back into May, at the 1 hour, we'll do a whole year. It's pretty much met baseline for a while. And it had this big pop from $1.30 up to $4, somewhere in there. Back in December of 24, whether that be the pending inauguration, whether that be a variant of political macroeconomic changes coming in that gave this a nice boost. It obviously didn't hold as the entire market once we came into February, March and April especially. Obviously, As we all know in trading, it all went down pretty significantly. This one already was so low it didn't really change at all into that point. We dropped from $2 into the cautionary zone, right? But why do I care about this one? Well, I've got a few notes here about the Faraday Future Intelligent Electric Company, who makes EV vehicles, and people may not have heard about them, but I do believe that they will be up and coming, kind of like Rivian and Lucid. They do have this parabolic move starting to happen from the low point of the year, beginning of the year, to a low point and back up. Other key points to this is BlackRock, love them or hate them, they're piling some shares, increasing their stake into this stock. They purchased it back here just below $2, so sub $2, and it's rising pretty well since that point. We are hitting the top of the bull band again, as we did here, had some pullback and then ran. So we've double crusted right there, as our guru Mo likes to say, double crust. It's broken out twice in the last week. Oh, come on now, work with me. So we broke out right here and here. It did a drop, but we are still continuing on. We're above the 200. We have reversal about to happen here on the MACD, and we are sweet in the RSI. So BlackRock piling in shares, $100 million purchase from Nature's Miracle something or other company. They have a non-binding purchase, but they have put an order for $100 million of vehicles. I don't know what they do. That I didn't research any of that. I just saw that there was a big purchase order for them recently. They're also being added to the Russell 3000 on top of a micro caps index. They're exploring Web3 financial ecosystem. If you don't know what Web3 is, it deals with algorithms and things. It's a kind of a newer step up from the prior blockchains. It's different, but similar. And then, of course, we have insider buying piling into this stock, probably alongside the BlackRock shares. As BlackRock buys in, insiders feel comfortable and they buy in more. And a lot of that BlackRock buying stuff happened right here. So we do have a pullback into this $2.70 support, which you can see pretty much right there, bounced, and we're continuing back up. So, oh, excuse me. So FFAI might be one to keep an eye on for sure, since it is so inexpensive and it could run potentially quite high. You know, I mean, our last largest resistance. Why is it doing that? That's crazy. What is Robinhood doing? Why is it showing thousands of dollars? All right, well, sorry, don't know what it's doing here. I don't believe FFAI was ever at $138,000. That's insane. Let me look at my app and see if I can figure out why it's showing that. Okay, well, my app is also showing that. I don't have an answer for you. I did not research past 5 years as to why in November of 2020 this is showing $94,000. Okay, well, I guess the 5-year won't work for us in this scenario of examples. So if you want to believe that, then clearly FFAI can run from $2 to several $1,000s. I mean, is there more to this story that I need to look into? Sounds like it. Because if BlackRock has some ideas as to this thing running up to $100 plus, we all should jump in on this too. This is a new finding. You found this out with me live, all right? So anyways, moving on to the last one. Man, I really got to look into that. It's kind of blowing my mind right now. Is Symbotic. This one is another fun one. It's actually to deal with robotics, not vehicles, but it has to deal with kind of that whole tech sector. So let's run to 1 year at 1 day chart, and this is dailies. We have a increasing RSI. We of course have had this gigantic upside. So let me get into that one real quick. So Symbotic, being robotic and automation company, helping with like point of sale manufacturing, supply chain. So it could be like Amazon, that kind of thing. Any robotics that are cyclical, this is the company working toward that. So I just want to give you a quick rundown. 170% gain since this April low to a high. 170% is crazy. It's on hold right now from analysts because of this giant upswing, and we do have it reaching its all-time high, nearly all-time highs right here at $56. So, once we hit this, who knows what's going to do? It's likely going to retest and maybe rebounce. So check on this one for sure. Symbotic, I do believe, does have some serious upside to gain. And keep an eye on these three. I really like Symbotic. I wish I had jumped in earlier, but I'll wait for a pullback and continuation. I do think we'll break those all-time highs from the past there and go on beyond. All right.